There comes a season in every chosen one's life when silence wraps around you like a heavy blanket. The world grows distant, familiar faces fade, and doors that once swung wide seem to lock themselves without warning. You wonder if you've been forgotten, if your light has dimmed beyond recognition. You ask the heavens, why me? Why now? But child, hear this truth that heaven whispers to the hidden ones. God did not abandon you, He hid you. He hid you to protect you from the traps that were designed to destroy you before you could bloom. You were never buried, beloved, you were planted. You were never rejected, you were redirected. There is a sacred difference between being overlooked by man and being hidden by God, and the chosen ones must learn to discern it. Sometimes the hiding feels like heartbreak. You cry over the people who left, the plans that failed, the opportunities that never came back. You look at others rising, glowing, and being celebrated while you remain unseen, unheard, unknown. But what if your invisibility was divine intervention? What if the very things you think you lost were God's way of keeping you safe from premature exposure? The devil is crafty. He studies the chosen before they are even born. He watches for your pattern, your anointing, your fire, and he plots to distract, delay, and destroy. That is why God must cover you in seasons that make no sense. He hides you behind closed doors so your destiny can be built in secret, far from the eyes of those who would seek to poison it. He shelters you from those who clap when you fall and smile when you stumble. He keeps you out of sight until your spirit is strong enough to stand without validation, until your faith is firm enough to move without applause. There were people you prayed for that God removed not because He didn't hear your prayer, but because He loved you too much to let you stay surrounded by deceit. There were friendships you mourned that ended abruptly, but you didn't see the snake behind their smile. You didn't hear the whisper in their heart that envied your light. You didn't know that the devil had sent them to dilute your purpose, to drain your energy, to cause you to doubt yourself. But God knew, and He said, not this one. This one is mine. So He pulled you back. He made you lonely so He could teach you to be whole. He made you quiet so He could teach you to hear His voice. He made you still so He could teach you to move only when He speaks. You thought the isolation was punishment, but it was preparation. You thought the silence was absence, but it was protection. Child, the devil cannot destroy what he cannot find. He cannot fight what he cannot see. And when God hides you, you are wrapped in a spiritual covering that confuses hell itself. There are blessings with your name on them that the devil tried to intercept, but they are preserved because you were hidden. There are doors that hell tried to block, but because you were unseen, the enemy had no access. The wilderness was not meant to break you, it was meant to build you. You see, hidden seasons refine the chosen. They strip away the noise, the pride, the fear, the need to be understood. They force you to face yourself, not the version you show the world, but the one that trembles when the lights go out. In hiding, God does His deepest work. In hiding, He detoxes your soul from every false identity, every imitation connection, every distraction that sought to keep you small. In hiding, you begin to remember who you are beyond the masks. You rediscover the voice that the world made you silence. You awaken to the power that was always inside of you. Do not despise your hiding place. It is holy ground. It is the cocoon of transformation, where caterpillars become creatures of flight. It is the furnace where gold is purified. It is the quiet cave where prophets are trained to carry the word of the Lord. You cannot emerge strong until you have been stripped weak. You cannot carry light until you have walked through shadow. You cannot be trusted with power until you've learned the weight of silence. The chosen are not made in crowds, they are crafted in solitude. So if God has hidden you, count it not as loss but as divine favor. He hid you because you are dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. He hid you because your purpose carries weight. He hid you because the enemy saw what was coming and trembled. You think your delay is a detour, but it's a disguise. God covered you so your enemies could not trace your steps, so they could not anticipate your next move. When you finally emerge, they will be confused, for you will rise from the shadows with strength they cannot comprehend. Remember how Moses was hidden. A baby floating in a basket, saved from Pharaoh's decree. Remember how Joseph was hidden in a pit, then a prison before being elevated to the palace. Remember how David was hidden in fields, singing to sheep, while his brothers stood in line for kingship. Remember how even Jesus was hidden in Egypt, protected from Herod's blade. Every chosen one has a season of hiding because every chosen one carries something hell wants to destroy early. The devil fears your becoming. He knows that once you know who you are, he cannot deceive you again. So he sends traps dressed as opportunity, manipulation disguised as love, and distractions masked as purpose. But when God hides you, those traps collapse under their own deceit. The devil cannot catch what God conceals. There are moments you look around and see nothing happening, but heaven is busy on your behalf. The soil of your spirit is being tilled, the roots of your faith are growing deep. You may not see fruit yet, but the foundation is forming. God is not silent, he is strategic. You are not waiting. You are being woven into divine timing. And when the appointed time arrives, the very places that forgot you will have to make room for your glory. The same mouths that mocked your absence will witness your anointing. The same hearts that doubted your worth will be forced to confess that it was good that you were hidden. For had you been seen too soon, you might have settled for less. Had you been celebrated too early, you might have compromised your calling. Hiddenness protected you from false crowns and temporary kingdoms. You will look back one day and realize that everything that went missing was a miracle in disguise. That rejection that broke your spirit was actually divine direction steering you away from betrayal. That delay that made you cry was God aligning you with destiny. That loneliness that felt unbearable was heaven separating noise from truth. The devil thought isolation would make you weak, but instead, it made you wise. It made you sensitive to God's voice. It made you understand that peace is more valuable than popularity, that obedience is stronger than applause. The devil wanted you distracted, but God made you disciplined. He wanted you bitter, but God made you better. There is a beauty in being hidden that only the chosen understand. You learn to be content without attention. You learn to move without needing to be seen. You learn that your value does not decrease just because others do not recognize it. The hidden seasons train you to find validation in God's whisper, not in man's praise. It's in the hiding that humility takes root and pride dies. It's in the hiding that faith matures and fear loses power. It's in the hiding that you stop chasing what is temporary and begin craving what is eternal. You see, the chosen one is not meant to fit in. You are meant to stand apart. And sometimes, standing apart means standing alone. But alone with God is safer than surrounded by the wrong crowd. Child, when God hides you, he is not withholding your destiny. He is preparing it. There are blessings that need time to mature. There are promises that need your growth before they can be fulfilled. God will never hand a loaded weapon to a child, and your calling carries power. It requires maturity, integrity, and surrender. That's why he isolates you, not to punish you, but to shape you into someone who can handle the weight of divine favor. When he finally reveals you, it will not be a soft unveiling but a divine eruption. You will not emerge timidly, you will rise with authority. Every scar will tell a story of protection, every tear will testify of his faithfulness, and every delay will declare his wisdom. So don't curse the hidden years, bless them. Thank God for every closed door, every unanswered call, every forgotten season. They were your shield. Thank him for the friendships that dissolved. They would have diluted your destiny. Thank him for the job that rejected you. It would have trapped your spirit. Thank him for the path that vanished. It was never meant to carry your greatness. You didn't fail, you were filtered. God was purifying your circle, your motives, your vision. He was pruning what could not survive your next level. When you understand that, peace will replace pain. Gratitude will take the place of grief. You will stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Thank you, Lord, for seeing what I could not." The devil trembles when a chosen one understands the purpose of their hiding. Because once you realize that you were never forgotten, fear loses its hold. You begin to move differently. You no longer chase attention, you walk in authority. You no longer beg for belonging, you rest in divine selection. You no longer question the silence, you trust the strategy. And in that moment you become unstoppable. The very hiding that once hurt you becomes your armor. The same solitude that once broke you becomes your strength. You become a living testament that divine protection often comes disguised as divine delay. There will come a day when the door swings open, and everything that once didn't make sense will suddenly align. You will see why certain people couldn't go with you, why certain opportunities slipped away, why certain seasons felt like abandonment. You will see that every detour was direction, every tear was training, every delay was divine timing. You will step into rooms where your name has already been spoken, into blessings that have been waiting for your arrival. You will realize that you didn't miss your moment. Your moment was being preserved. God hid you until the soil was fertile enough to receive you. He hid you until your character matched your calling. He hid you until you could stand before kings and not bow to temptation. And when that time comes, you will walk with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are covered. You will not need to prove, to boast, or to explain. Your presence will carry peace. Your words will carry weight. You will know that being hidden was never about being small, it was about being safeguarded. And as you rise, do not forget to give glory to the one who hid you. For in the wilderness he walked beside you. In the silence he spoke to your spirit. In the loneliness he loved you fiercely. He hid you not because he wanted to keep you away from the world, but because he was preparing to show the world who he made you to be. You are not behind, you are being positioned. You are not forgotten. You are being fortified. You are not invisible, you are invincible, because heaven knows your name. Every moment of hiddenness was divine design. Every delay was destiny in disguise. The devil's traps could not touch you because grace stood guard. You were sheltered under wings stronger than steel, covered by love deeper than any pit, protected by a hand that never sleeps. So lift your head, chosen one. Dry your tears, you are not lost. You are loved beyond measure. God hid you because you are his masterpiece, and masterpieces are revealed only when they are complete. And when the day comes, and it will, when you finally step out of hiding, the light will not blind you because you have been prepared to carry it. You will move with authority born of adversity, compassion born of pain, and wisdom born of waiting. You will walk through the traps the devil set for you, and see them crumble beneath your feet. You will look back at your wilderness and whisper, "It was worth it." For now you will understand. God hid you not to punish you, but to protect the promise inside of you. He hid you so you could become everything heaven intended. You were never missing. You were being molded. And now when you rise, the world will not just see you. It will see the hand of God that never let go. Because chosen one, you are the living proof that being hidden was holy. You are the evidence that protection sometimes looks like pause. You are the testimony that delay does not mean denial. God hid you to protect you from the devil's trap. And when you rise, nothing in hell will be able to stop you. And even now, as you stand in the quiet aftermath of all that you've endured, heaven is still whispering your name in places you cannot yet see. There are angels assigned to your path, arranging encounters, weaving connections, and clearing away debris left by the storms that once tried to bury you. The season you call stillness, God calls setup. You think nothing is moving, yet everything is shifting beneath the surface. The same way the ocean hides its power beneath calm waves, your life conceals the magnitude of what God is about to reveal. He is crafting something in secret, something so divine that the devil's traps will crumble at the mere sound of its unveiling. You have not been delayed, you have been reserved. You are not waiting in vain, you are waiting in victory. Every moment of confusion is being translated into clarity. Every wound is being rewritten as wisdom. Every loss is being reborn as light. There is something sacred about the way God hides his chosen. He does it so gently that even you do not realize what he's protecting you from. Sometimes he closes a door and you cry, because you cannot see that behind it lies destruction. Sometimes he delays a blessing because he knows that receiving it too soon would shatter you. Sometimes he removes people not because they are bad, but because their season with you has expired. You cannot rise carrying the weight of everyone's expectations. You cannot walk into destiny chained to what was meant only for your development. So he strips, he prunes, he cleanses. He cuts away the unnecessary even when you scream in resistance. But oh, chosen one day you will thank him for every no, for every ending, for every goodbye that left you trembling. You will see that every subtraction was addition in disguise. You were never meant to bloom in every garden. You were never meant to belong in every circle. There are environments too small for the greatness within you. There are atmospheres that cannot handle your light. That is why you were misunderstood. That is why you felt misplaced. That is why your spirit never felt at home in ordinary spaces. You were created for divine distinction, and distinction always demands separation. So when God pulled you out, it wasn't rejection. It was refinement. He had to get you alone so you could hear the song of your own soul again. He had to silence the world so he could remind you of your true voice. Because the chosen cannot be molded by the crowd, they must be shaped by the Creator. And though the devil has tried to whisper lies in your isolation, telling you that you are forgotten, that you are not enough, that your time has passed, those words are empty echoes of a defeated spirit. The enemy only speaks loudest when he knows you are closest to breakthrough. He screams when heaven is about to unveil you. But listen, beloved, do not argue with him. Do not fight shadows. Your silence will confuse hell more than your shouting. Stand still and know that God Himself is your defender. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone. You do not need to announce your return. God's glory will speak for you. His light will make room for you. His timing will elevate you in ways that human hands cannot orchestrate. The devil tried to delay you, but he only ended up deepening your roots. You see, hidden seasons make you dangerous to darkness. They build a kind of strength that cannot be faked. When you've survived silence, betrayal, and uncertainty, you no longer crumble under pressure. When you've been overlooked and yet still chose to love, still chose to believe, still chose to rise, you carry a power that frightens the enemy. The devil fears the chosen who know their hiding had a purpose, because such souls walk in divine awareness. They no longer chase approval, they move by assignment. They no longer fear rejection. They trust redirection. They no longer seek to be seen, they live to be used. And that is when heaven can truly flow through you, when you surrender the need to control and embrace the mystery of being hidden. Child, look back at the days you thought would break you and realize they became your becoming. Every sleepless night, every tear-stained prayer, every lonely walk prepared your heart to carry more light than before. You have been in the wilderness long enough to know that manna still falls even when you cannot see where it comes from. You have learned that provision does not always appear as plenty. Sometimes it comes disguised as peace. You have learned that sometimes protection looks like delay and sometimes blessing looks like loss. You have learned to trust even when the road curves and the map fades. And because of that, you have graduated into a new level of faith. The kind of faith that walks through the valley and still sings. The kind of faith that doesn't need to understand to obey. The kind of faith that makes the devil tremble, because he knows that once you stop fearing isolation, you become unstoppable. Yes, chosen one, you will rise. But you will rise differently this time. You will not rise chasing validation, you will rise anchored in vision. You will not rise proving your worth, you will rise aware of it. You will not rise fighting for your place, you will rise knowing you were chosen for it. The hands that once trembled will now heal. The voice that once broke in tears will now break chains. The same silence that once felt suffocating will now be filled with songs of strength. The pain that once buried you will become the soil that births your power. And when the world finally sees you, they will not understand how you survived. But you will smile softly, for you will know. You didn't just survive, you were sculpted. And oh, when God finally reveals you, it will not be subtle. The unveiling of a chosen one shakes the atmosphere. It shifts environments, it rearranges destinies. You will walk into rooms and the energy will change because heaven walks with you. You will speak, and your words will carry oil. You will move and your presence will bring peace. You will no longer need to chase opportunities. Opportunities will recognize your anointing and chase you. The devil's traps will collapse beneath the weight of your obedience. And every place you once felt forgotten will become the very platform God uses to display His glory through you. There will be people who will come back, trying to reattach themselves once they see your light. But you will discern differently now. You will love them, but you will not lower yourself to fit them. You will help them, but you will not hand them access to your peace. You will serve, but you will no longer sacrifice your sanity, because you have learned that protection is not just something God does for you. It's something He teaches you to do for yourself. You will guard your spirit, your purpose, your joy. You will know that not everyone who applauds you deserves proximity. You will understand that not every open door is divine, some are disguised distractions. And because of that, you will move in wisdom, quiet, calm, and confident. God hid you to reveal himself through you. He shielded you until his character was formed in you. The more you were stripped of the world, the more you became clothed in his essence. You now carry his patience, his compassion, his strength, his discernment. You have been tested in the dark so you can stand as a torch in the light. When others crumble under pressure, you will remain steadfast because you have already been tempered by fire. When others are shaken by rejection, you will stand firm because you have already been pruned by separation. You are not who you were before the hiding. You are stronger, wiser, deeper. You have been hidden not just from harm but for holiness. And as you step forward, know that God still goes before you. The traps of the enemy are still being dismantled even as you walk. He is rerouting every weapon that was aimed at you. He is turning every curse into a crown. He is turning every lie into light. You will see vindication without vengeance. You will witness restoration without resistance. You will experience promotion without pride. Because when God lifts the hidden, he does so in a way that no man can undo. What he blesses no enemy can block. What he ordains no opposition can overturn. What he anoints no darkness can dim. Chosen one, this is your moment of awakening, not an arrival but an awareness. You are awakening to the truth that everything you lost was leading you back to everything you are. You are awakening to the reality that nothing is wasted in God's hands. Not the pain, not the pause, not the process. You are awakening to the beauty of being hidden, the power of being preserved, the sacredness of being chosen. And as you breathe, feel this truth settle in your spirit. You are not forgotten. You are favored. You are not invisible. You are invincible under divine covering. You are not behind. You are being unveiled at the perfect hour under the perfect light for the perfect purpose. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders. Walk not in haste but in holiness. Walk not in fear but in faith. Walk knowing that every step is guided, every silence is sacred, and every delay is divine. The world has not seen the fullness of who you are yet, and that is intentional. God was writing your story in invisible ink so that only those with spiritual eyes could see the masterpiece taking form. But now the ink begins to glow. The invisible becomes visible. The hidden becomes heralded. The whispered becomes witnessed. This is the unveiling of the chosen one. This is the fulfillment of divine protection. And as you rise, remember, you are not rising alone. You carry the prayers of generations, the hope of those who came before you, and the faith of those who believed even when you could not. Your light will ignite others. Your testimony will heal others. Your endurance will inspire others to trust their own hiding. You are not just emerging for yourself, you are emerging for everyone who thought silence meant abandonment. You are proof that God hides not to harm but to heal. Not to punish, but to prepare. Not to forget, but to fortify. You are the evidence that hiddenness is not the end. It is the birthplace of destiny. So breathe deep, chosen one. Let gratitude wash over you like dawn. Let peace settle where panic once lived. Let strength rise where sorrow once dwelled. You have survived the shadows, now step into the light. The traps have failed, the tests have passed. The time has come. God hid you to protect you from the devil's snare. And now he reveals you to proclaim his glory. You are the living testimony that divine concealment is divine care. You are proof that protection often looks like pause. You are the miracle that silence built. And when you walk out of hiding, heaven will applaud softly because they knew all along. The world wasn't ready for your light until now. So shine, chosen one. Shine like someone who has seen darkness and lived to tell the story. Shine like someone who has walked through hell and returned carrying heaven. Shine like someone who understands that God's hiding was never to harm you, but to hold you until the day you could fly. You have been covered, crafted, and called, and now the unveiling begins. You are hidden no longer, you are chosen forever. And as you rise, something within you begins to awaken that was never fully alive before. You start to see the beauty in what once broke you, the strength in what once scared you, and the wisdom in what once wounded you. You begin to understand that everything was orchestrated. Every loss, every delay, every sleepless night, every unanswered question. not to destroy you but to deliver you into this moment of divine awareness. You realized that the hiding place was not a prison, it was a womb, a sacred space where heaven nursed your soul and grew your spirit in the dark until you could carry the weight of your calling without collapsing. You were not just hidden to be protected, you were hidden to be perfected. The silence was your sanctuary. The stillness was your schooling. God was teaching you how to hear His whisper in a world addicted to noise. He was teaching you how to trust His timing when your own understanding screamed for answers. And He was teaching you that His love is not proven in constant movement, but in consistent presence. There are some seasons where God removes your audience because He wants you to perform only for Him. He strips away the stage, the applause, the validation, so you can learn to live for His not alone. That is where true strength is built. In the hidden rehearsals of faith, when no one is watching, when no one claps, when the only sound is your heartbeat echoing in the quiet. That is where you discover that you were never truly alone, for God's breath was beside you in every sigh. You begin to feel the nearness of His hand guiding you through darkness so dense you could barely see your own reflection. You begin to understand that even the darkness was divine, for it hid you from the eyes of those who would have devoured your destiny before it could bloom. You were not overlooked, you were overprotected. God hid you from the counterfeit so He could preserve you for the covenant. He shielded you from people who looked like promise but carried poison. He concealed you from opportunities that seemed like blessing but were born of bondage. He veiled your name until your character could sustain the crown He prepared for you. For what good is exposure without endurance? What good is elevation without humility? God was not withholding your breakthrough. He was deepening your foundation so that when the storm came, you would not fall like those who rose too soon. And now, chosen one, you stand on the threshold of revelation. You are not the same person who entered the hiding place trembling and unsure. You are refined, resilient, rooted in something unshakable. The tears that once felt like weakness have watered the soil of your purpose. The heartbreak that once tore you apart has expanded your compassion. The rejection that once crushed your confidence has built a holy resilience in you. You no longer chase approval, because you have met the one who approves of you without condition. You no longer fear loss because you have learned that nothing truly belonging to you can ever be taken. You no longer dread silence because you have found peace there. You are no longer running from darkness because you have learned to carry your own light. And the devil, he sees it. He senses the shift. He knows that the one he once thought broken beyond repair now walks with authority born of adversity. He knows that the one he tried to silence has found a voice that no demon can drown. He knows that the one he tried to destroy in secret has been fortified by the very hiding he despised. What was meant to kill you became the catalyst for your awakening. Every snare set against you became the soil for your growth. Every betrayal became the bridge to your becoming. The devil thought he could trap you, but he didn't know that your footsteps are ordered. He didn't realize that every setback was a setup for a greater unveiling. He didn't understand that God's not yet was not denial, it was divine redirection. Now, as you begin to walk out of hiding, the light feels different. It no longer blinds you, it bathes you. You no longer need to prove who you are, you simply embody it. The peace you carry will make people curious. The confidence you exude will make them wonder where it came from. They won't know the nights you wept on the floor, or the prayers whispered through trembling lips. They won't know how close you came to giving up, or how many times you thought the silence meant abandonment. But heaven knows. Heaven kept record of every tear, every prayer, every act of obedience that no one saw. And heaven has declared that now is the time. You are stepping into divine visibility. Not because you begged for it, but because you are ready for it. You will begin to see doors open that you did not knock on. You will begin to meet people who feel like answers, not distractions. You will begin to receive blessings that feel too big for your hands, and that's because they are. They were meant to overflow so others could drink from your cup. You will find yourself in places that once felt unreachable, speaking words that once felt impossible, doing things that once felt unimaginable. You will move not by striving but by surrender. You will no longer need to chase opportunity, you will attract it by the oil you carry. For the world is drawn to the anointing of one who has survived obscurity. The fragrance of endurance cannot be manufactured. It can only be earned through fire. And you, chosen one, have been through the fire and come out refined. Do not rush this unveiling. Move gently. Move prayerfully. Move with reverence for what you carry. For the same God who hid you still goes before you. He is walking ahead of you, clearing paths and silencing critics. He is preparing tables in the presence of those who doubted you. He is orchestrating encounters that will remind you. Nothing was wasted. Not the pain, not the pause, not the people who walked away. It was all sacred. You are the living embodiment of divine patience. You are the walking proof that God's timing never fails. You are what happens when someone refuses to let the waiting room break them. You are what happens when a soul decides to trust even when the plan makes no sense. And soon, those who once questioned your silence will witness your song. Those who mocked your stillness will marvel at your strength. Those who assumed your disappearance meant defeat will watch you rise with grace too radiant to deny. But you will not rise with bitterness. You will not return to prove them wrong. You will return to prove God right. For your victory is not vengeance, it is vindication. Your emergence is not about showing off, it is about showing forth His glory. You will rise not as one desperate to be seen, but as one grateful to have been hidden. For now you understand that the hiding was never about hiding you from the world. It was about hiding the world from you, until you were ready to walk through it untouched by its illusions. And when you finally stand in the light, when you finally feel the warmth of destiny's sun upon your face, do not forget the cave that shaped you. Do not forget the nights that taught you how to pray. Do not forget the quiet places where God whispered courage into your chest. Do not forget the solitude that strengthened your soul. Carry it with you. Let it keep you humble. Let it keep you grounded. For the chosen are never called to shine for themselves, but to reflect the one who lit them. Every gift you carry, every opportunity that unfolds, every blessing that pours out of your life, it is all to point others back to the source who hid you. Because someone is watching you now, feeling forgotten, wondering if God has left them behind. They are walking the same lonely road you once walked, and your story will be the map that leads them home. When they see your light, they will believe that theirs can shine again too. When they hear your voice, they will know that silence is not the end. When they witness your breakthrough, they will understand that hiddenness was never punishment. It was protection. You are not just being revealed for your sake, you are being revealed for the healing of others. Your life will become the proof that no devil can outwit divine timing. Your story will be the song that teaches others to trust when they cannot trace. So walk boldly now, chosen one. The time for hiding is ending. The cocoon is cracking. The dawn is breaking. The same God who covered you in darkness now commands you to rise in light. You are His chosen vessel, not fragile but fortified, not forgotten but favored. You are the embodiment of endurance, the echo of grace, the evidence of protection. You are walking proof that God's hiding was heaven's